Keep it. I didn't sing for money. I sang because you looked like you needed to hear something real. She said it gently, but without apology, holding the folded bills back toward him with one hand, while her guitar case rested against the bench with the other. The man staring at her was 33 years old, in a coat that announced itself as expensive, and he had the expression of someone who has just been told something they were not expecting and are still deciding what to do with it. She was 26 years old. Her name was Wren Calloway. She had been sitting on the bench outside the Milford Public Library for 40 minutes, playing quietly to no particular audience, not busking, just playing, the way she did when her apartment felt too small for what she needed to work through. She played for herself and for whoever happened to be there, which was usually pigeons and occasionally joggers. Today it had been him. He had sat on the far end of the bench 20 minutes into her playing, not asking, just sitting, in the way of someone who needed to stop moving and had found the nearest reasonable excuse to do so. She had not changed what she was playing. She had just continued, an original song, slow, about the specific feeling of standing in a place you built and not recognizing it anymore. He had been very still for the entire 20 minutes. When she finished, he had produced the bills immediately. Reflexively, the way people offer what they have when they don't know what else to offer, she handed them back. He looked at her. Why? Because then it becomes a transaction, she said. And it wasn't. He sat with this for a moment. The afternoon traffic moved on the street behind them. A pigeon reorganized itself on the library steps. What was it? He asked. I don't know yet, she said honestly. But it wasn't a transaction. His name was Aldrich Hain, 33 years old. He had founded Hain Creative, a brand development and media company, 7 years ago and had spent those 7 years building something that was, by every metric that mattered to the people who measured such things, a success. He was in the process of completing its acquisition by a larger firm, a deal he had negotiated for 18 months that would close in 3 weeks, and that would produce, among other outcomes, the end of the company as anything resembling what he had built. He had walked out of his office at 2 in the afternoon because he could not make himself stay in the room where the acquisition documents were open on his screen. He had walked for 40 minutes and ended up on a bench outside a public library, and a young woman had been playing a song about standing in a place you built and not recognizing it anymore. He had not told her any of this. She had not needed to hear it to know something was true. Do you write your own songs? He asked. Everything I play, she said. I can't do covers. They feel like wearing someone else's coat. Do you record? In my apartment. With equipment that is technically functional. She said it with the specific dry acceptance of someone who has made peace with the gap between what they have and what they need. I've been trying to find a studio that does independent rate deals. There are 3 in the city. 2 are fully booked. One quoted me a rate that would take 8 months of saving. He looked at her. The guitar case had a small patch on the front strap, a wren he noticed in flight. What do you do for work? He asked. Coffee shop, 4 mornings a week. Lesson studio, 2 afternoons. This, she gestured at the bench, the guitar. Whenever the weather cooperates. He nodded slowly. Not calculating. Just taking in the shape of something. Why did you say I looked like I needed to hear something real? He said. She looked at him with the direct, unhurried attention she brought to everything. Because you walked to that bench like someone carrying a decision they hadn't made yet, she said. And you sat down like someone who needed permission to be still. He was quiet for a long moment. You got all of that from a walk? I watch people, she said. It's part of writing. She picked up her guitar. What's the decision? He told her. Not everything, just the shape of it. The acquisition. The company becoming something else. The specific grief of choosing to let something go that had been yours in a way that nothing else had been. She listened the way she sang, without performance, without the slight lean of someone preparing a response, just receiving it. Is it the right thing? She asked when he finished. Probably, he said. That's the worst part, she nodded. The right thing and the easy thing are rarely the same walk, she said. He looked at the library steps, at the pigeon. at the late afternoon light coming through the oak across the street. "That line," he said. "Is that from a song?" "It will be now," she said. He came back 2 weeks later. Not to the bench, to the coffee shop where she worked Tuesday mornings, because he had remembered the name she had mentioned in passing and found it without difficulty. He waited until her break and sat across from her at the small corner table. "The acquisition closed," he said. "How does it feel?" she said. "Like standing in a place I built and not recognizing it," he said. She looked at him. "You remembered the song." "I haven't stopped thinking about it," he said. He put a card on the table. "I'm keeping a small creative division independent as part of the deal terms. Artist development and production. It was a condition I negotiated." He paused. "I'd like to offer you studio time. Properly scheduled, no rate, the real kind, and I'd like to hear what you make with it." He paused again. "Not as a transaction, as what it actually is." She looked at the card, then at him, then at the card again. "What is it actually?" she said. "An honest offer from someone who heard something real on a bench," he said, "and wants to know where it goes." She was quiet for a moment. Outside the coffee shop window, the November morning moved in its ordinary way. People, traffic. The city doing what cities do. "I'll think about it," she said. "Take the time you need," he said. She called on a Thursday. She said yes. Not because of the studio, because of the way he had said what it actually is. Because a man who had built something real and then lost it to its own success had remembered, sitting on a bench outside a public library, what it felt like to receive something without paying for it, and had been changed enough by the remembering to offer the same thing back. Don't turn the honest thing into a transaction. Some moments are worth more than what they'd fetch. Give them freely, and trust that the right person will understand the difference. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.